Patreon Q&A number 94. I want to thank all 117 of my incredible patrons. Guys, thank you so much for continuing to support me the way that you are. To everyone else listening, there's going to be spoilers for all of the series I'm going to be talking about, so tread carefully. MemePriest asks, Oi, Zosuke, how's it going? Hope things are well, and here are my questions for this week. What if King was as powerful as the hype made him out to be, and would he be the fighter Saitama is looking for? So, yeah, pretty much. I mean, King is essentially the representation of Saitama's power to the world. Like, I always wanted to make a video about this, and maybe one day I will, but we see, like, the duality of absolute power in One Punch Man. Like, King and Saitama are two sides of the same coin. King representing heads, while Saitama represents tails. And like I said, absolute power. King is what everyone sees as the physical representation of absolute power, while Saitama is what absolute power literally is within that world. So all of the feats that Saitama has is what people equate King's power to. So if he were to become that strong, I guess it would be, you know, Saitama fighting someone who is equal to or just as strong or rivaling his power. So yeah, he would definitely be the fighter Saitama was looking for. And I don't even think they'd be able to fight on Earth, really. I mean, they'd spar maybe. But, like, imagine, like, two people as strong as Saitama going all out, serious punches, in consecutive serious punches. Just think about that. Like, there's no way the Earth would be able to take that. So they'd have to go to space, or I don't know, they'd have to train harder and unlock like the Phoenix Man God, you know, other dimension place that they can go to and then fight there. If you were to design a monster for One Punch Man, what disaster level of powers would it have? So I've always wanted to see a monster that was like Shimazaki from Mob Psycho. Talking about season 2 here, or yeah, I'm pretty sure it's season 2, and he has like those awesome teleport powers and abilities. We haven't seen anyone in One Punch Man with those yet, and you know, considering that one has made both series, I'm sure he's waiting to reveal a monster that has these abilities, or just a character that has them or something. So I would like to make that a monster, and he'd be like, you know, dragon level, somewhere around there, and like his thing is just teleporting. Chance asks, hey Shonen, can you see any Straw Hats eating devil fruits in the future, and if so, who and what kind of fruit? Thanks. So right now, I would say that it's unlikely that any of the Straw Hats are probably going to eat any devil fruits, unless we get like a new member out of nowhere, you know, maybe Yamato, I don't know. But I would say that the good candidate, if we had to pick one, maybe Usopp. Now, I don't remember exactly if Usopp has ever talked about or just given his thoughts on him consuming a devil fruit. Maybe he has. So much dialogue and sequences of panels to go over in this series that I can't remember every single bit of exposition yet. Maybe one day. But I just don't remember if he says it specifically, because I know that, like, obviously Frankie, when he's offered to eat the Marimaro no Mi, he's like, nah, I don't want to lose the ability to swim. And then Sanji's pretty much on that same page. I assume Nami is as well, because that would probably conflict with her navigation abilities. And then I guess it comes down to like Usopp, right? And I can see Usopp maybe like having like a similar mentality to the rest of them who don't want to eat fruits. It's like, I want to have my ability to swim. And I don't know, maybe he's just like, I just want to get stronger naturally or something. I could see him totally saying that. So aside from that, yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be having any fruits in the future, unless Luffy's able to get like multiple, which could happen. JC asks, hey there Z, hope your personal and professional lives are doing great. Hey, thank you Chase, I hope yours are as well. I'm impressed with how far the channel has come in terms of upload rates, video quality, topic variety, etc. Hey, thank you Chase, always complimentary. What a great guy. My scenario this week is Kazekage Gaara. Is dropped into My Hero World as a villain. Which characters do you think could defeat him? And how would the battle go against him? So I guess he would be the equivalent of like a really, really powerful villain with like an awakened sand quirk. So kind of like Snatch, but like to the nth degree. So I see Kazekage Gaara maybe being just as powerful or representing as much of a threat as like 9 from the My Hero movie was. Maybe even more than that. It would be a big deal. Like you would definitely need to have a majority of the Billboard heroes there. And then with all of their backup and support and all that, it would be a large-scale effort to take down Kazekage Gaara. Although he would be taken down eventually, but he would put up a pretty good fight before that. Crusader Deus Vult asks, Deus Vult Z guy, man, dude, person, friend. It is me, Crusader. I had sushi and it was amazing, almost as amazing as you. Hey, thank you, Crusader. First question goes back to the most recent Q&A where you said if humanity turns on Saitama, no one likes him, he stopped being a hero. I'm not so sure because when the meteor was destroyed and the people were booing him, he thought he wasn't responsible to do it for his popularity, but do it for himself. And if he would have continued or whatever, I think no one would stop him, to be honest. To a degree, but like in the scenario that I was talking about, it's like all of humanity completely despises him. Like, think about that. It's a lot different than the scenario from the first season. Although it is fair to make this assumption based on that. I'm not saying you're wrong in thinking that. I'm just saying, like, I mean, he wouldn't, like, completely abandon humanity. Like, he would stop a meteor or something like that, or he would stop a disaster level god threat. But I would say he would be way more unmotivated to go out and do, punching monsters or whatever, considering that, like, literally every single person pretty much in the world sees him as, like, a piece of crap evil. And as for your second question, yes, Crusader, I talk about this all the time. Like, this is the main point that I make with Flash's speed. And at least manga continuity wise, this is like the main point that I use to show that he is clearly one of the fastest and one of the strongest. That's why I have him so dominant in like the versus battle videos and on the power scale and whatnot. It's mainly because of this feat, which very few characters can match. It's truly insane. And it's like, I don't understand why people don't look at this and see it as objectively as I guess you and I do. Daren asks, is Crimson Riot really Kirishima who time traveled to the past? So I'll say straight up, it's a possibility. I mean, why not? Anything could really happen at this point. And I'm already on board with the main time travel theory, so I might as well just be open to all of them. We don't have enough information on Crimson Riot yet to really get to the bottom of this, because like we don't know exactly like when he was around. We just know that it was like quote unquote old school. So like if he was around 50 years ago, then possibly it could be Kirishima, maybe, but then again, it's like we don't know the timeline of the One for All getting passed on to the other people and the vestiges and stuff. So, like, once we start getting that information on the timeline, I think it'll become more apparent if he is, in fact, Crimson Riot, and that would be pretty interesting. Like, he was looking up to himself this whole time, like he was his own idol. But also, it's like, we do see Crimson Riot's quirk for a little bit, and it's like, his hair gets hard. It's almost like armament hockey from One Piece, which is obviously not Kirishima's quirk. So, unless this is some added awakened ability that he learned, and he just decides to use that, I would say that right now, don't bank on him being Crimson Riot, but keep an open mind. Free-Tshirts asks, hey Shonen, hope you're doing well. Hey, I'm doing fine, Free-Tshirts. I hope you are as well. My first question this week is, what are your top 10 favorite demon level monsters? Happy 4th of July, my dude. So, Armored Gorilla, number 1. Deep Sea King, number 2. Awakened Cockroach, number 3. That's pretty much it. Everyone else is kind of just like, whatever. I've really liked these 3 characters the most, especially Armored Gorilla. One of my favorite characters in the series, quite easily. One day I'll make a video on this dude and why I like him so much. Geruda asks, hey Shonen, do you think Law will end up using his Eternal Life / Youth ability before the series ends? So this is definitely the $1 million question, or at least one of them. One Piece has multiple $1 million questions, but I think it's going to be one of two things with this. So first of all, they mentioned the Perpetual Life or the Perpetual Youth surgery for a reason. Like, Daffy gave it, like, significant time exposition. He was, like, letting the reader know that, hey, this is a thing. Remember that this is a thing. It is important. So either that means that Law is going to wind up using this on a villain or something, and, of course, not by will. He's going to be tricked into it or forced into it or whatever. Or he doesn't, and Law stays alive, but then it's revealed that someone else has already used the Perpetual Youth surgery, and they are, like, still alive to this day because of it. Maybe Emu, or Eam, the dude who sits on the empty throne, who could be Zebek, Rocks. I know that Ohara's fan manga touched on this, but honestly, we've had these theories for a while now, and it just kind of stinks that, like, he made that fan manga, so now, like, it's like whoever is, like, assuming that that's going to happen, everybody's going to think that we're just stealing from that fan manga theory, and we're not. It's kind of been out there in the open this whole time, and I think it's a good possibility that Xebec is Eam and use the perpetual youth surgery. So I'm just saying it's like one of two things, and I guess that's where it could go. Goliath Xanatos asks, hey Z, got an interesting hypothetical battle for you. And if you think it's worth making a video on it, be my guest. How would a fight between Hero Nagaro and Suiryu go against Goketsu? So I looked at your stipulations, and even with that, they are still no match for Goketsu. Like, this is like, remember how Goketsu went against Suiryu initially? It was basically just one shot, boom, done. It would be the same thing again. It was just like, boom, one shot, done, Suiryu. Boom, one shot, done, Garo. They're nowhere near strong enough to compete with this dude at this point. He is so powerful compared to them. I mean, Genos, he had the right idea, but just the wrong execution when he was like saying that we need a lot of S-class heroes to go against him. Like, he was picturing like, you know, like Saitama and Flashy Flash and King. I mean, it wasn't that extreme, but you definitely do need like a majority of like the non like super OPS class heroes to be able to go against Goketsu. So that goes into like your other question is like, who do you think needs to be added on? Like a lot, like Metal Bat, Tank Top Master, Puri Puri Prisoner, and then maybe even throw Darkshine in there. And if you can't get Darkshine, Genos. But then we saw Genos, he got one shot at two. It's like he's so freaking powerful that you need the powerhouses to take him down. So you would need like Darkshine, Flashy Flash, guys like that teaming up. You would need a lot more than like a group of demons, which is essentially we have here with Garo and Suiryu and Genos and guys like that. Joseph E asks, hey, what's up, Shonen? How are things with the world getting crazier? Hope all is good. Hey, it's fine, Joseph. I hope it is for you as well. With the God Arc coming, do you think Garo will return and come back as Awakened to take on one of his minions so we could see what he can truly do when he's not holding back? Unfortunately, I don't think this is going to happen. I don't think Awakened Garo is going to come back into the story, at least intentionally. Maybe if he's like forced to become him by like some other ability or something. But him losing Awakened Garo's, you know, the power and the monstrification and all that stuff was pivotal for Garo's character development. It was like him leaving his past behind, him, you know, leaving the flawed mentality that he had previously. And, you know, having to rely on the power of a monster when he really didn't need to this whole time. The power's within him the whole time, and he didn't need to lose his humanity to get it. And I think that's where the future of Garo's character is headed. He will be stronger than Awakened Garo eventually as a human. It's just going to take a little time. So I don't expect to see any kind of more monster stuff from Garo, at least in my opinion. And then as for Tario, I think he'll become stronger in the sense of he'll be more brave, you know, and less cowardly and scared the way that he has been. Well, not entirely cowardly, but you know what I mean. I don't think he's going to get, like, physically stronger. I don't think enough time is going to pass in the series for us to see any kind of substantial developments with Tario like that. Ella asks, you said something very interesting I hadn't thought of in the last Q&A about the organization using the suits to control the Neo heroes. Would you expand on that theory? Some of you haven't planned on an entire video based on it. Take care. So I did, but I'm not sure when I'm going to make it, and it's possible that one might release like the new chapters before I even get it out, but I have no problem saying it here. It's yeah, I mean, the Neo heroes more or less is being controlled by the organization through the shadows, like Aramin and Destro. They are, in my opinion, the brain robot and the Gray Fox robot, and all of the tech that we're seeing the Neo heroes have is being supplied to them through the organization. So, like, what's that guy's name? Zaditz, or I forget. The dude who was, like, the original financial backer of the Neo Heroes. I assume that the organization got in touch with him or something. Or the organization got in touch with Blue, and then they were like, hey, we got all this awesome proprietary tech that we can sell to you for cheap or a good price or whatever. And that's how they got it. So now that they give all of the Neo Heroes these suits, they trick them into thinking like, hey, these are power augmenting suits, but it's actually, I mean, it is that, but it's also like a way to control them so that they have their own private army, because their end goal is world domination, at least according to Drive 9, chapter 119. So yeah, this is how they do it. They, instead of making an army of like robots and androids, they have an army of humans, but with like exoskeletons on them. And then meanwhile, they just have their own like collective of ultra powerful cyborgs. Like Airman, Destro, Drive Knight, and G6 and 7 and whatnot. Legandaryus asks, hey, Shona was thinking if Godzilla attacked Dressrosa during the time everyone turned back into the people from the toys, what would happen? So if you mean like Godzilla, like, I'm not too sure, like, ever really how powerful he is because there's so many different continuities of him, but earlier this year, like when I was doing the streams, people were talking to me about Godzilla's feats from like the American movies that came out like in the past 5 years. What are they, Universal or I forget, whoever owns Godzilla and King Kong, but he survived a nuke right in the beginning of that movie, so he's basically way more powerful than most One Piece characters. I mean, what One Piece character could survive a nuke? Could Big Mom? I don't know, but I think things wouldn't look good, and Godzilla could essentially destroy Dressrosa easily if he really wanted to. I mean, I don't really know who could stop him. He's nuke level, surviving nuke level. Luke H asks, what's up, ZZ top creator man? Let's get into the question. If you could have a martial arts mastery, super strength, regeneration, psychic powers, or an advanced intellect, all the powers making you demon level, which one would you choose personally? This is a great question, and it's tough because it's coming down to me for super strength or psychic powers. Both can be abused if trained well. And both fit into my own archetype and style that I like. I'd have to go with super strength. Psychic is very tempting, but if I had to just choose one, I know that I could probably make the most out of super strength for sure. That can go very far. Second question, if Batman was dropped into One Punch Man verse with all of his resources and had a week of prep time, which S-Class heroes do you think he could take on? Much love. Your videos are bangers. Hey, thank you, Luke. So I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure that there's like this saying about Batman in like the community of just nerddom in general, and it's that if given enough prep time, or just Batman with prep time can defeat anyone. It's like more or less that's it. I'm paraphrasing. And it's not like that's just like a thing that's thrown around, and it's not just for any character. It's like specifically Batman. Everyone is more or less in agreement that his ultimate ultra super omnipotent power comes from him being the most intelligent detective and strategist or whatever. So I assume that if given a week of prep time, not only could he defeat all of the S-Class heroes, he could probably defeat Saitama as well, right? Mr.Awsome asks, what's up, my dude? Hope you're having a good 4th. I was psyched to hear that you're starting at Twitch. Can't wait to watch your Cyberpunk streams in 2025 when it's finally releases. Hey, thanks, Mr. Awesome. That's awesome that you remembered that I said I was going to play that. Hey, 2025. Nah, this ain't One Punch Man Season 3, my dude. We're getting it in November. I have faith. So how would you rank the characters based on them being the symbol of evil? So number 1 would definitely be Dabi. I mean, he already kind of wants to be the symbol of evil, at least what we've seen in like the last couple chapters. I think like chapter 267 or something around there. He pretty much reveals that he's unredeemably evil, in case anyone was curious. And then I guess Overhaul, and then Redestro. Muscular sucks. I don't like him. He's an idiot. And then Stain would be last because Stain isn't evil. I mean, on paper he is, of course, but it's kind of like the Justice Paradox, which I'm going to make a video about. Second question, what if Chisaki had won? So, given the circumstance you have here, think about what happened with the hospital raid recently in the manga. You know how like they just all got together and straight up just went execution style on Yujiko and everyone else. That's what they would do to Chisaki. Like if he was able to get out of the raid that they set up with Eri and there were some casualties and he had all of that stuff, then everyone's getting involved here. Like before it was just that, you know, that one Night Eye group. But then it's like Endeavor's getting involved too. He's bringing Hawks. They're all bringing everyone. And they're just showing up wherever Chisaki is because they will find him. They will definitely find him. And they're just going to cull him. There's no like arresting him. There's no taking him in. Him and the 8 precepts are just erased from the world. And they're not going to talk about it. Because like, and they were going to take Eri, of course, but like the heroes can be very vicious, as we've seen. Nathan W asks, I imagine you have a theory on what Psycho saw with her third eye, but more importantly, do you have an idea on what she thought creating the Monster Association would help negate this event? So yes, not only do I have an idea, I know exactly what she saw, and I know exactly why she wanted to create it, to negate this event. I made a video entirely on the subject. Please check it out. It's called What the Prophecy Actually Means. And what Psycho saw was God ruling the earth, basically. Like God destroying all of the humans and monsters like running over the earth. So basically what the Monster Association ultimately wants, and that's why she was going to make it, because she wasn't trying to stop the apocalypse. She's just trying to assure that she has a place in it, like after it's over, and the world of what it's going to be like was essentially like this dystopia of God and monsters with no humans. So she was trying to just get on board beforehand. Of course, just a theory, but like I'm so confident that this is what is going on. Proasek asks, show me the money in. How is? Fun one for you today. If you were on the Hero Association naming committee and you were given the task of giving all of the S-Class heroes new Super Nims hero names, what would you go for? So not that many, because honestly, so many of these names are perfect. Like one knocked it out of the park as always with everything, but just these names especially. So Purry Prisoner probably needs a change. Probably just shorten him to Prisoner. That's fine. I think that would be better. Flashy Flash needs a name change, and I'm not good enough to give it to him. I don't know, Demon Ninja, Ninja Devil. That's like a villain name. I don't know, but you know, come on. Flashy Flash, obviously a joke by one. But I think we should rename him. Drive Knight, I think he should just come out of the closet and just have Mad Cyborg as his name. I think that's better than Drive Knight. Metal Knight, have him like, I don't know, Tech Lord. I don't know, something like that. You know, like Child Emperor, have him like Technology Lord or Technology God, God of Tech. I don't know. And then Tatsumaki, she needs a name, right? Tornado of Terror, could be better. I mean, I couldn't do better, but I know that better could be done. And then Blast, man, that's such a good name. But you can also call him like Energy Man or something, or Energy God, God Man. Q asks, hey Shonen, hope you're doing well and having a good weekend. Hey, I am, and I hope you are too, Q. Who would win in the Dega City fight if it was the Meta Liberation Front versus 9 and his crew from Heroes Rising? 9 and his crew would win. 9 by himself could probably solo all of them, maybe, possibly. But then when you give 9 that Chimera dude, it's game over. Those two together are just way too powerful. That's honestly my opinion. I think they made those characters too powerful in that movie. And it kind of messed things up. And the fact that the Class 1A was able to defeat Chimera is a little far-fetched in my opinion. But it's fine, it's just a movie. But yeah, 9 and Chimera, and then those two others with them, the blade hair girl and the zombie dude. They're just accessories, supplemental. As for your Elder Centipede, Senior Centipede, and Junior Centipede scenario, I think it ultimately comes down to if Elder Centipede's carapace can be cracked by Endeavor, like his heat, because Rocklock can stop Senior Centipede and Junior Centipede and Venus Mantrap and all them. Endeavor can kill all of them. I mean, I have no doubt that he can, you know, roast them up once they're locked in place. But Elder Centipede, it's like, I don't know, up in the air, maybe, maybe not. If they can't, then they don't have a chance of winning pretty much, because Elder Centipede would just be too durable for anyone to really take him out. And it would come down to Shigaraki having to use his Awakened Decay quirk, because no way Elder Centipede is surviving that. Skinny Giraffe asks, hey Shonen, hope you have a great 4th. Anyway, my first question is, do you think we'll ever get a villain monster in the series of One Punch Man that's more powerful than Boros? Yes, absolutely. It might even happen soon. So it depends on how villainy Blast is going to be, because one is kind of like making us... I think one wants us to be confused about Blast right now, because he's throwing out that information about maybe he killed the kids at the Ninja Village, maybe he didn't. Maybe Blast is like real authoritative, maybe he's not. Maybe Blast is corrupt, maybe, I don't know. Because Blast, I think, is stronger than Boros, so it ultimately comes down if he's a villain or not. Other than that, I think Drive Knight maybe could be stronger than Boros at his full power. And Drive Knight's definitely a villain. And then aside from that, God. God will be a villain at the end of the series in one way or another, maybe, and he's definitely stronger than Boros. Even though, okay, so second question. How would you rank Top Master if he takes out the dragon? The big smoker monster. Well, I mean, if he could solo a dragon, then he's already going to be probably mid-dragon. Depending on, like, how difficult it is. Like, if it's, like, extreme high diff for Top Master to take down the smoker monster, then, you know, it could be fair to say that he's low dragon, but a dragon nonetheless. Like, no demons are taking down dragons, typically. At least one hasn't shown us yet. I think in theory maybe they could, but I'm thinking at the most, Top Master is probably going to be a mid-dragon here. I mean, I hope he's high dragon. I hope he's above dragon, but I don't see it going too high for him. ThighsOfZeus asks, hey, showman, hope you're still doing great. Hey, I am. I hope you are too, ThighsOfZeus. This week, I wanted to know if you wild predictions on One Punch Man, something that I'm holding in my big brain. You're too kind. I have a small brain. We all know this. So I think that Garo is going to become a full-blown good guy. Not like anti-hero. Like, eventually he's just going to go full-blown domesticated Vegeta style. And, you know, probably help the heroes or something like that. I do see that for the future of Garo. And then other than that, I mean, just the main ones that I'm always talking about. Drive Knight is the Mad Cyborg. Blast is going to fight Saitama. Blast is going to fight God, and then, you know, probably God is going to undo all of the powers that everyone has, or monsterification and all that stuff, possibly. You know, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll come out with more outrageous, baseless hypotheses in the future. I wanted to ask, how long do you think we have left in Universe for One Punch Man? So you're pretty accurate in what you're saying here. You know, it's only about a month and a half, something like that, since the announcement has been made. And I hope we go the full 6 months. We could easily. I mean, he could just keep writing if he wants to. He doesn't have to stop. Like, that was the whole premise that he said of One Punch Man. He figured out the beginning and the end, and what he's doing now is filling in the middle. So he could just keep filling in the middle for like years and years and years if he wanted to. But I do think it's possible that there could be a 1 month time skip. And that would be pretty cool, actually. You get a lot of stuff done, and you could just give people unearned power-ups at the same time. Either way, I think both could happen. We could just go the full 6 months in story time, and that's going to be like three or four more arcs. Or there's going to be like 2 more arcs, and one of them involves a time skip. So that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Once again, I want to thank all 117 of my overpowered patrons. Guys, I love you. And if you would like to be in next week's Q&A, just simply check out the Patreon. The $5 tier will give you access to this video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day, and I'll see you next one.